Are you optimistic about the future?
Absolutely. I'm an optimist for sure. An impatient optimist, to coin Bill and Melinda Gates' tagline a while ago. I also think back through my career up until now. We've moved from it just being small CSR, green philanthropy department down the hall, to a CSO really being part of the business. So that makes me an optimist, and impatient because we've got a lot to do.
I think for the B Corps, there's so much more. With every new company that joins, there's another whole mass of new potential connections, and it really is like a multiplier effect. There is a benefit for a company to think about running its business in the interest of everybody, because we see all these wonderful kind of correlations between well-run businesses, ones that are growing at sustainably, and ones that are really taking total good care of all the interests of those people who contribute to the business.
But one of the things that really sets the B Corp movement apart is this legal requirement and the focus on transitioning towards stakeholder governance. Why have you felt that's so fundamental to changing this economic system?
Yeah, this I think was the genius of Bart, Jay and Andrew back in 2006, that they saw that there were two things. You needed performance requirements. You needed to compare apples with apples and assess how well a business is behaving. But if actually you didn't have a legal obligation to run the business for the interest of these different stakeholders and to create more impact, what could happen is it becomes very optional. The directors, if it suits them, they do it, but if it doesn't, there's no obligation. And when ownership changes, then there's no necessary continuation.
My background has been in a lot of product certifications, working very hard on the product supply chain, a lot of work with smallholders. But this is really, as you say, bringing it to the board level, having directors take notice and directors to become part of, okay, what is it going to mean, this business and social working together? Can I really have purpose? Can I really run this business in a profitable way? And we're going to show them that they can.
We've been built a kind of coalition called the Interdependence Coalition, which is about 100 or so or more organisations. Some of them are B Corp, some of them aren't, who are really interested in actually making sure that the EU is really progressive and pushes forward on the obligations of directors to think about their duties in this context of this broader stakeholder governance.
During my time working with smallholder supply chains, and we were working with coffee in the Yunnan province, and at all of my client meetings, they would start with a tea ritual. And I thought, wow, I had grown up on good old English tea with milk. And all of a sudden I was having these beautiful, pure teas. And I fell in love with the whole ritual of having 3 very small cups of tea before any business was spoken about.
People are thinking, talking about it. There's not the same question about why do I need to think about how to operate in a different way and how to be sustainable. That question is largely dealt with. But the thing that remains the same is, how do I change? And it's particularly true for the really larger businesses who've got very established in their existing mechanisms. And so that's, I think, a real challenge for us at B-Lab, to continue to help people think about the how. I think the other how that's still quite tricky is how to work really well in partnerships. We all know we need to do everything together because we can't, or at least we have to work in partnerships to find solutions. But it's still really difficult to do. Everybody loves to do it, and yet it's something we all find hard to really put the time and effort into. So I think those two things are still challenges. But as I say, it's very exciting that, particularly that the B Corp is no longer a sort of on the side of the agenda. It's actually well placed right in the middle, and we're now a kind of living example of how businesses can be operating for the benefit of all.
Business and society working and sharing the same platform. A whole lot more can be done by our courageous businesses. So let's get going.
I think that's the thing I'm going to take away most, is the art of the possible in the best of company.